Hello, I'm Tim Gunn. I've always felt that we in the fashion business, like people in any industry, have a responsibility to know the full impact of our business, both good and bad. That's why when I was chair of the Department of Fashion Design at Parsons, I initiated a program in which PETA and the fur trade received equal time before the students, so that these budding designers could learn where fur used in fashion comes from. When I became Chief Creative Officer at Liz Claiborne Inc., I invited PETA to screen, for the incredible design teams, its short documentaries on how all kinds of animals around the world are used by the fashion industry, and to spotlight some of the great alternatives so that designers could make informed decisions about the materials that they use. Now I'd like you to consider this information as well. Rabbit fur comes mostly from China. As shown in this undercover investigation, the rabbits are kept alone in tiny, barren boxes. When it's time for slaughter, they are crammed into wire crates for transport. During slaughter, workers often have poor aim and must shock the rabbits multiple times. The animals are often still conscious as their throats are cut before they are hung up by their legs to be dismembered. It takes 30 to 40 rabbit skins to make just one jacket. On other fur farms in China, animals' skins are literally peeled off their bodies, often while the animals are still conscious. But fur farms aren't found only in China. A PETA investigation of a fur farm in the United States revealed that foxes were living with exposed bones, wounds, and eye infections. They are killed by anal electrocution. Another investigation exposed that farmers killed minks with injections of weed killer, and yet another revealed that chinchillas were electrocuted or had their necks broken. Wild animals in the US and Russia are caught in traps, and trapped animals can suffer for days, starving and in excruciating pain. Some animals drown in underwater traps. Now you've seen why so many companies are turning away from fur. But what happens to animals in other industries, like wool and leather? When PETA met with clothing companies to show them how merino wool is produced in Australia, including using a gruesome procedure called mulesing, in which chunks of skin and flesh are cut from lambs' backsides, several companies, including H&M, Perry Ellis, Nordstrom, and Abercrombie & Fitch, opted to change their wool sourcing and sometimes to choose non-animal fabrics altogether. And when PETA exposed the fact that in India, a leading leather exporter, cows often have their tails broken and chili peppers rubbed in their eyes in order to force them to get up and walk after collapsing from exhaustion on the way to the slaughterhouse, companies like Gap, Kenneth Cole, Nike, and Gucci switched their sources, and consumers swarmed PETA's website to look into non-leather alternatives. When PETA revealed that snakes used for clothing sometimes have their heads nailed to a tree and their bodies cut open with a knife before being skinned, tossed into a pile, and left to die, and that alligators sometimes remain conscious for up to 2 hours after being clubbed and skinned alive, designer Mark Bauer held a fashion show that featured mock croc, fake snake, and other animal-friendly materials. There are so many things to wear, and I believe in freedom of choice. I simply believe that people should be able to make educated choices. Thank you for taking the time to consider this. For more information, please visit PETA 2.